They did it. They really did it. They made a good Superman movie. After so many years of trying to make a good Superman movie and getting Superman movies off the ground, we finally have a good Superman movie. Not only good, but a great Superman movie. A great comic book movie. And overall, a great movie. Now, I was going into this movie already thinking I was going to be disappointed. I heard on many different articles and many different reviews that, people hated this movie. People despised this movie and said it was disappointing. Yet another disappointing Superman movie. And I was so hyped up that disappointed the hell out of me. But you know what? I still went into this movie with my own thoughts, not someone else's thoughts. I still went into this knowing that it could be a giant piece of shit. That it's a 50-50 chance that it could be either good or really, really bad. I went into this with my own thoughts and completely disregarded and completely forgot all of those bad, bad reviews for the movie. And I enjoyed the hell out of it. This is one of the first times, one of the only times, where I walked out of a movie and I said, that was perfect. There's not a single criticism in this movie that I had. Not one. There's not a single criticism at all. Every decision, every single last detail in this movie was genius, was perfect, and was absolutely amazing. If you do not go see this movie, then you're missing out on every bit of fun of You're missing out on this movie. This movie was the best movie I've seen in a long time. And you know what? You're gonna think I'm fucking nuts here, but once I walked out of this movie, I literally asked the question, is this movie better than The Dark Knight Rises? And as many of you know, one, I'm a huge Batman fan. I may have all this Superman bullshit here, but you know what? Batman is my favorite superhero of all time. No other. Well, maybe Superman may be my favorite superhero of all time because of this movie. But Batman was always and will always be my favorite superhero. Well, not will always be, because it can be debated because of this movie, like I just said. But this movie was so good and so absolutely perfect, it actually made me ask that question. Was this better than The Dark Knight Rises? And you know what? It may be. It really may be. Because I think I gave The Dark Knight Rises like a 9.5, 9.5 out of 10 batarangs or whatever. And it was a while ago. I kept on changing the score from like 9.5 out of 10 to 10 out of 10. And I honestly got to do another review of this. I think I will probably at the end of the year. I really do think I have to do another review on this. But this movie was that good. It actually made me ask. This is probably my favorite movie of all time. Period. Like, yeah, the flaws and all that bullshit, but I will defend this movie to my death, and I will, put it on a pedestal, and I will worship the ground that it sits on, or it lays on, or the shelf that it, resides in. I will worship the shelf that it resides in. But the movie's that good that it made me say, was this better than The Dark Knight Rises? And it may as well be. This movie was actually better than Dark Knight Rises, I think so. Well, I don't think so. I'm still contemplating whether or not that is true. It's a matter of opinion, but that was how good the movie was. It actually made me ask if a Superman movie was better than the Batman movie. That never happens. It was always Batman that had the best movies in pretty much everyone's opinions. Batman always had the best movies. But now, Superman has the better movie. That's how good this movie was, people. Go see this movie. Go and see this movie. And go, if this movie does not make $1 billion like this did, or like Iron Man 3 did, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. Because, you know, Iron Man 3, I love it and everything, but $1 billion, no way. You know, this movie deserves the $1 million. This movie deserves it. If it does not get $1 billion, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. Cause that's bullshit. The movie's, I read somewhere that it's already at $21 million by its opening midnight release, which is ridiculous. So let's get it higher up, people. It's $1 billion. Set it there. $1 billion. I want it to beat the event. It's definitely not gonna beat the Avengers. I at least want it to be I at least want it to be Iron Man 3. That's where I want it to be. Oh my. I think I should start getting into the movie. In the movie, everything in it, from the acting to the score to the music in the movie, was brilliant and amazing and awesome. And actually, before I get into the rest of this video, I want to say this is not at all scripted. I don't even have any notes here. I'm literally just going off from what I remember, so this is going to be a really bad video. And 2, spoilers. I'll put that also in the title. Big bunch of spoilers here, so, you know, if you haven't seen the movie yet, definitely go out and see it. Pay money to see this, and help it get $1 billion, because if it does, I'm going to be pissed off. $1 billion, so go and see it now. The movie was an overall masterpiece. This is now one of my all-time favorite movies of all time. And I was going into it just expecting, I really just wanted the movie to be at best decent, and I would have let it be, and I would have let it, you know, stay there. If it was at least a 7 out of 10, I would have liked it. I would have seen it at maybe again, but it was a masterpiece. This movie was phenomenal, and it was a masterpiece. And everything from start to finish was amazing. First of all, let's get into some of the acting. Henry Cavill, or Cavill, I've been saying Cavill, so Henry Cavill, as Superman. Fucking amazing. And I was really worried about Henry Cavill going into this movie, because I had heard his last 2 movies that he did, The Cold Light of Day with Bruce Willis, which I heard was horrible, and Immortals, which I heard was alright. I heard that he wasn't really all that great in them, but I guess that's pretty much just due to those movies' shitty scripts, because this movie was, his performance in this movie was amazing. I'm glad that they chose an unknown actor, because this guy is just going to get nothing but movies from here on out, I hope, because of Superman movies. And I hope he doesn't suffer from the Superman curse or anything like that, because that'd be really very, very saddening. But he was amazing in this movie. And something that they do with the Superman character in this is that you don't really see him in the Daily Planet as Clark Kent with the glasses. Again, spoilers, until the end. That they set it up for like another movie and stuff like that. And he pretty much is 90%, like 80 to 90% of the movie. He's just in the Superman costume, and he's just Superman. That was great, especially for an origin movie. That was great that they just had him in the Superman costume, doing Superman stuff, and then they set up for a later movie, have him be Clark Kent working at the Daily Planet. That was a great idea. And the way that they have him, have Lois Lane find out that Clark Kent and Superman are the same person was absolutely fucking brilliant. It was a great, nice little switcheroo from how they usually do. Because usually in the Superman movies, usually in Superman comics and movies and whatever, it's Clark Kent who works at the Daily Planet, he meets Lois Lane, and then Lois Lane finds out Superman, and then Superman reveals that he's also Clark Kent. It was always that. But Lois Lane, right off the bat, knows that Superman is around, and his real name is Clark Kent. And then later, at the end, where his name is Clark Kent, and he's at the Daily Planet, and he has the glasses, she knows that he's Superman, like she always does in the comics. That was amazing. It was a nice switch around from Clark Kent revealing that he's Superman, to now Superman revealing that he's Clark Kent, and Lois first meeting Superman, and then, Clark Kent. But she knows that Clark Kent and Superman are the same person. It's kind of confusing, but, if you see the movie, you'll know what I mean. That was great. That was amazing. That was really a nice and original and all-around really clever way of introducing these characters to each other while also setting up their job at the Daily Planet for a future movie. I wasn't at all shocked that that Clark Kent at the Daily Planet, like the clumsy, fumbling, stuttering Clark Kent wasn't in this movie at all. I wasn't expecting him to, and to have that done in the origin movie, I really did like that. And to have him be the Clark Kent at Daily Planet, working at the Daily Planet in this movie, would have really just, kind of shoehorned him in here. But no, they just set it up for a future movie. That was great. I really did love that. That was amazing. Just to set it up for a later movie, that was great. I loved that, and I hope a lot of other people will love that too. And I just love the whole, Superman meets Lois Lane first, and she knows that Clark Kent's Superman because she goes to Martha Kent, and Martha Kent, and she's like, I'm here to, talk to you about your son. Immediately she knows that Superman's Clark Kent, and that way she doesn't act like an idiot and not know that Superman and Clark Kent are the same person because of glasses. They explain it, and it's really good, and it's not like they have to wait until they find out that, Superman and Clark Kent are the same person, and which doesn't make any sense because they could just tell, not, like, because of the glasses. They can't tell because of the glasses. That was great. It definitely did. It was great, and they just set it up for an earlier movie. I said it. It was a great idea. And talking about Lois Lane, Amy Adams was really great as Lois Lane. Yeah, sure, she doesn't have her hair dyed or anything. She looks more like Lana Lang than Lois Lane. And they actually mentioned Lana Lang in this. You actually see her, but she's like a little kid. So maybe they'll do that in a future movie. I really would like to see that. They mention her in the movie. And they also have a bunch of other little throwbacks to Superman movies and stuff like that in this. Which aren't blatant and aren't in your fucking face. They're literally, clever and done pretty cool. I'll get that in a minute. But yeah, I didn't really mind that all that much. As long as she played the character good, then I was perfectly fine with that. And she did an amazing job in this. She definitely had a lot of like little quick whips, and little snarky comments, little sarcastic comments towards a couple people in the movie. That was really, really good, and I really did like that. And she was just great in this movie overall. I really liked Amy Adams as Lois Lane. So there you go. Also, Michael Shannon as main villain, General Zod. Now, I was kind of disappointed, but I also kind of like this too. Now, I think in my Superman 2 Richard Donner cut review, I said in the comments that they were definitely going to go ahead and, say kneel before Zod and Man of Steel. They don't, which kind of disappointed me, but I also kind of, I was kind of happy about that, and for one reason, Michael Shannon doesn't at all try to just do a big impression of Terrence Stamp's General Zod from Superman 2, which I really liked, and that's showcased because he doesn't say kneel before Zod. I really did like that. He didn't try to do an impression, he didn't try to redo that villain. It pretty much was like an overall new villain, just with the same name. It could have been a completely different villain. You could have named him Zap, or Zam, and it would have been a completely different villain, because he doesn't try to imitate, Superman 2 with this, his performance. Look, Shannon was a badass villain in this. He was really menacing, really threatening, and he was actually kind of the person that killed Superman's dad, which was even better, because it definitely, it's like, our main character, has to fight a guy that killed his dad, because, like, usually in the Superman comics, in all the movies, Jor-El died because of, Krypton, exploding. Here, he died, and then he got killed by Zod, and then Krypton blew up. I really like that, so it definitely make General Zod our main antagonist and our main badass bad guy. I really did like that. The Phantom Zone was also in it in this cool little new way, but instead of a square, it was like a little triangle opening up. That was kind of cool. And the reason why they got released is because Krypton blew up and it kind of released them from it, and they were, that was really awesome. I really did like that. Michael Shannon's performance overall was amazing. He was badass and he was awesome. He was just an overall great villain. It was awesome. Like, yeah, it is kind of a little bit of a cop-out that they use Zod once again, but, the movie does kind of explain why it's Zod this time around again. I would have much rather have, some villain like Brainiac or, Metallo again, but, I guess we'll have to do. I mean, he's a great villain in this movie. He's really menacing. He's played by Michael Shannon, who's also a great actor. So I'll give it that, but I really would have liked to see a different villain. And no, not Lex Luthor again, but, a different villain. Speaking of Lex Luthor, there are actually 2 Easter eggs in this movie towards Lex Luthor. Sorry about that. And one is these little oil tankers that say LexCorp on it that Superman and Zod blow up at one point in the movie. And two is actual LexCorp, like a LexCorp sign or like a LexCorp sign that says LexCorp when the satellite is falling out. When it's falling out of the sky. And I'll get to that satellite in a minute because that's a big part of this movie, which I can't wait to talk about. So that was really cool, sort of setting up Lex Luthor for another movie. But you better have him do something really badass and sinister besides sell land, like in Superman 1 and Superman Returns. So, yeah, if you're going to have him do something badass, have him wear that Lexo suit, please, because I think we've all been asking for that since we saw Lex Luthor in the first movie. We also have Kevin Costner as Pa Kent, or I actually don't know Pa Kent's real name, so I'm just going to call him Pa Kent. Again, he did a great job as usual. Well, not as usual. He's done a couple bad movies like Waterworld and stuff like that, but he's usually a good actor in his movies. He did a great job here as Superman's adoptive father, which is really, really awesome. But he does end up dying like in the first movie, but he doesn't die because of a heart attack like in the first movie. He actually dies because this giant tornado happens, and he was helping a couple people out of their cars so they can get to safety, and he just sort of got gushed away in the tornado. He kind of got killed because of his own, that was his own fault. Like, Superman literally, like, I understand why he told Clark not to go save everyone, because if everyone had saw him do that, then they would have thought he was a freak and an outcast, and that already happened earlier in the movie when he saved all those children from the bus sinking. I get why he didn't just save everyone when, everyone in that, the tornado, I get it, but isn't Superman so fast that that some people can barely even see him? So why didn't he just go zip back, and just get a couple people? Especially Pa Kent, who died. Pa Kent was just like, no, stay over there, or else everyone's gonna think you're an outcast, and he just gets gushed away in a giant tornado. Why didn't he just go zip, done? Yeah, why not? Really. I understood why they didn't do that, but then again, I understood why Superman or Clark Kent couldn't have done that, but, it's kind of like, well, Superman's faster than a locomotive or faster than a speeding bullet. I'm pretty sure no one can see something that's faster than a speeding bullet. Yeah, it would have been questionable, but they would have been like, whatever. He saved. Who cares? Just a minor little gripe, minor little nitpick, but, whatever. Doesn't at all affect the movie, just a minor little nitpick. And we also have Diane Lane as Martha Kent, Pa Kent's wife. And funny enough, Diane Lane was in this little movie called Hollywoodland. That does say a 2-day rental from Blockbuster. Yeah, remember that, Blockbuster? And she was in the movie Hollywoodland. Yeah, this movie, Hollywoodland. And you're probably asking, well, what's Hollywoodland, you may ask? Well, Hollywoodland was the movie about the, the suicide, which is, in the movie, of George Reeves. And George Reeves was one of the original Superman, or men, in the Adventures of Superman TV series. So, they probably chose her just based on that. Like, Diane Lane showed up for an audition and was like, hey, weren't you in that movie Hollywoodland? And she was like, yeah? Alright, you got the part. That was pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie. So Ben Affleck's in this movie, I think, as George Reeves. Yeah, and he was supposed to, and Kevin Smith had recommended him for, Superman Lives, so that's kind of weird. They probably chose him for that role in this movie based on that, but I'm talking about a completely different movie. I'll probably review Hollywoodland sometime later, sometime soon. I don't get why I didn't review this for Super Month, but hey, what are you gonna do? But yeah, she was in Hollywoodland. That was about Superman, the guy who played Superman and who killed himself. They probably chose her role in this movie just based on that, like a nice little thing. It was like, oh hey, she was in a Superman type-ish movie. Put her in the Superman movie. That was really good. But she was really good in this movie. She was really great in this movie. She was overall just really, really great in this movie. I really don't know how to go into that even more. She was really, really great in this movie. And a couple other people I'm trying to think of. I think that kind of does it for the acting in the movie. Now we get to some of the action in the movie. The action in the movie is, hands down, probably some of the best directed and best shot, well, not really directed or shot, but just some of the best action scenes that I've ever seen, ever. The effects during those, action scenes were amazing. Like, this movie better get nominated for at least, like, a special effects Oscar, because if The Dark Knight Rises didn't, then fucking Man of Steel better get nominated for that, at least. Please, come on, can we get that done? Please. But the effects were amazing, and the effects in the action scenes were great, and the action scenes were absolutely amazing. And some people have complained that this movie there's too much action in this movie, and once the action starts happening, it just gets really old. I honestly don't know what the hell you people are talking about. There was, like, one of the complaints was that, you know, oh, the movie has too much action, and there's just too much CGI in the movie. And here's literally what I have to say to you. One, talking about there's too much action in the movie and it gets boring after a while, you people bitched and moaned about the last Superman movie having no action. Yeah, Superman Returns. You people bitched about that movie having little to no action, but now you finally get a new Superman movie and you bitch that there's too much action? Does everyone just have, like, bipolar disorder? Because there was not too much action in this movie. There was a perfect amount of action in this. It was Goldilocks amount of action. It wasn't too short. It wasn't too long. It was just right. And there was plenty of action. It didn't overstay its welcome. And it wasn't too short or anticlimactic. It was the perfect amount of action in this movie. So is there anyone that was, saying that, oh, this movie has this movie has a lot of action and it gets boring after a while? You're an idiot, and you bitched and moaned about the last Superman movie, having no action. Now here you get tons of action, and it's really kick-ass action. It actually showcases pretty much all of Superman's powers, his super speed, his heat vision. By the way, I love the way that they did the heat vision in this movie. Like, whenever he was doing heat vision, like, he had these little, like, black lines running down his eye, like, running down his face. That was really cool effect. I did, like, the little details there. That was really cool. But you bitched about the last Superman movie having no action. Then you finally get a bunch of action, and that's a problem? How's that a problem? How is a Superman movie having too much action a problem? That's not a problem. That's just a movie doing its job. And also with the effects, it's a fucking Superman movie. There's supposed to be tons of CGI, and there's supposed to be tons of badass, awesome, epic effects. I mean, the guy flies around the whole planet 90% of the movie. Of course there's going to be a bunch of CGI effects and explosions and all that stuff. And if there weren't, again, here's the thing. If we had catered to the people that made that complaint that there's too much CGI and there's too much, action in it, what would have happened? Well, you would have had the same people bitching you would have the same people that bitched and moaned in Superman Returns, bitching and moaning here that there's not enough action and you need more action. So either way, even if you had less action or more action, you're still just gonna have people bitch and moan and complain and be a bunch of cynical assholes. Like, if you went into this movie and you did not enjoy it at all for what it was, you had the biggest stick up your ass. So go get that out, because you're gonna be a cynical asshole and your asshole's gonna be sore. So get that out of there, please. Enjoy a movie for once. Like, yeah, it wasn't like Shakespeare or anything, and it wasn't like high art like The Dark Knight Rises or anything, or The Dark Knight. It wasn't like high art, like, oh my god, it's the smartest movie ever made. It's a Superman movie. You're supposed to go into it, have a lot of fun, watch some action scenes, and go home happy. And that's what I got from this movie, and then some. I absolutely love the movie. Every decision that was made was great. And you know what? In a way, it kind of is like a little bit smarter than other superhero movies. I mean, you had Christopher Nolan working on this, so of course you would have to incorporate some, smart ideas in here. Like, for one, a cool, really smart idea that made the villain both really evil and kind of tragic is that, like, for a really long time now, like, babies and, children on Krypton were genetically engineered and bred to follow a certain destiny and to follow a certain fate. Like, one would be bred to be a scientist, or one would be bred to, be a general. And that's General Zod. He was pretty much bred to be a general and to protect Krypton. So pretty much all the evil stuff that he's doing is almost in a way against his will, but it's also, kind of what he wants to do. So in a way it makes him both tragic and also even more evil. So that's really awesome. That's an example of how this is a little bit more smarter than some of the stuff that was in the comics. comics, and it was stuff that's a little bit more smarter than the average, superhero movies. Like, usually the villain is just evil because, hey, he's evil, and that's cool to do, I guess, and you have to have an evil, villain in your superhero movie, or else what's the superhero gonna do? Here, you actually kind of give him a reason to be evil, because that's what he was born to do, and that's what this alien race of people, that's their, ideology, and that's kind of their religion, and it's really weird, and kind of goes into, if Krypton really is evil, like, if Krypton is really kind of, gung-ho about all this stuff, or Krypton, is just kind of over their heads about everything. That was really cool. That was a really great idea, and then what even makes it cooler is that Kal-El, or, Clark Kent or Superman, is one of the only children, now the only child on Krypton to be born from a natural birth and not have a predetermined destiny. Well, not predetermined, but, have an already, implanted destiny. He's pretty much free to do whatever he wants. And that's kind of the theme of the movie. Do what you, think is right. And for Superman to have that whole, idea being, and Superman is all about doing right, and pretty much, the whole theme of the movie is do what you think is right and do what you think is necessary. And that was great for Superman to learn in his origin movie. I loved that. That was an absolutely great idea and a great, absolutely kind of, deeper meaning to Superman. I absolutely love this movie. And that's pretty much why I'm going to go ahead and give it a 10 out of 10 Red Suns. This is now one of my all-time favorite movies ever. One of my all-time favorite movies ever. Probably in, like, my top 5 favorite comic book movies ever. By far the best Superman movie ever. Ever. Better than the first movie. Better than the second. Who gives a shit about those last 3 movies. Better than any Superman movie that's ever been released. Period. End of discussion. And they already greenlit a sequel, and I can't wait to see that. And if you use Lex Luthor as your main villain again, I probably won't go see the movie, because that's bullshit. I don't care how good Superman, Man of Steel was. Use Lex Luthor again, I'll be pissed. If you had the Lexus suit in it, maybe I'll go see it. I will go see it if you have the Lexus suit. But Brainiac! Go for Brainiac! Can we get that campaign going? Brainiac for Man of Steel 2? And so what would they call the next movie? Man of Steel 2? Superman, Man of Steel, Last Son of Krypton? What are they gonna do? But absolutely fucking love this movie. This is a masterpiece. This is a masterpiece. Flawless. Phenomenal in every meaning of the word, and I probably sometime won't, I will go ahead and do another review of this when, like, the movie comes out, giving you my further thoughts and telling you guys my opinion on the movie changed, but for right now, doesn't look like my opinion's changed, because this movie was absolutely kick-ass, and my opinion will probably, stay the same when the DVD comes out. And also, as 2 little Easter eggs there that I have to talk about, one, there was a polar bear in this movie. Superman's in the Antarctic, and, there was a polar bear there. You're probably asking, well, why is that such a big deal? It's a polar bear. Of course they're in the Antarctic. Well, like I mentioned in my Superman Live/Reborn video, Brainiac was supposed to, like, kill a polar bear and one would run off. I don't know. I just have a feeling that they had that shot polar bear in there just because of that. Like, I'm probably just theorizing and sound like an absolute, maniac right now. Like, oh my god, the polar bear meant something. It's so symbolic. But, maybe it was there because it was just coincidence. Maybe they did have that, have that shot of a polar bear in there because of it. But, whatever. Actually, another thing before I get to my last little Easter egg. Superman at one point in a dream sequence is wearing a black version of his costume. Which, again, is a nice little throwback to what would have been done in Superman Lives or Superman Reborn. So yeah, again, it may have just been in there because of just a big coincidence, but they could have just had him in his regular costume. It was a dream sequence, so, theorizing here. And also the last one, the one that maybe just stand up and clap in the theaters, was the Wayne Tech satellite that Zod destroys at the end of the movie. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Now, you really don't see, like, Wayne Tech, like, it doesn't, like, close up in it and just jam it in your face that it's a Wayne Tech satellite. But, like, it's not, like, a Wayne Tech Enterprise. Like, the W is there, and you see it, but it's kind of in the background. You really have to look really closely to see it. But I fucking saw it. And that means that Batman is in this universe. But I actually heard, like, I read on this article that, what's-his-face, Zack Snyder, the director of this movie, kind of, like, threw that in there as, like, a nice little thanks to Chris Nolan for helping him out with the movie. So maybe that's it, but then again, it's Wayne Tech Satellite and a Superman movie, so Batman probably does exist in this. Also, Blaze Comics, which is, like, a Booster Gold Easter egg, is also there. That was fucking amazing and awesome and cool. Also, Superman at the end breaks Zod's neck, and it causes, like, this sonic boom. Like, he just breaks it, and it's like, which is really cool. Which kind of was reminiscent of when Superman punched Darkseid so much in Justice League Unlimited, the very last episode, and he just punched him and caused this, like, big sonic boom. That was cool. Maybe that was, like, a nice little Easter egg or throwback to that. But again, theorizing here, I don't know. But that does kind of, one thing that I can see a lot of comic book fans bitching about, which is Superman killing Zod. I am kind of mixed about that. I really don't know how to feel. Like, he was zapping lasers at a family, and he was about to kill them. And Superman kind of had, like, he was put between a rock and a hard place. And he just, like, snapped his neck. I am very mixed about that. I'll go ahead and tell you guys about that when I do my later review. I'll get my thoughts down then. I really don't know how to feel about that. But overall, Superman, or just Man of Steel, but it's Superman's nickname, so technically Superman's the title, is by far the best movie I've seen so far this year. It might be better than The Dark Knight Rises, but I need to think that through. Because again, it's Batman, so. And by far the best comic book, one of the best comic book movies I've ever seen in my life. Best movie of the summer, best movie of this year so far that I've seen. Better than Iron Man 3, better than Star Trek Into Darkness. It was great. Hands down, amazing. 10 out of 10, Red Suns. And this movie will truly make you believe that a man can still fly in 2013. Once I walked out of this movie, that was the first thing I said. You'll believe a man can still fly in 2013. And Christopher Reeves would be proud, and I think everyone else that was in a Superman movie or something Superman related, they would be proud, and that's why I think that's just how good this movie is. And Kryptonite isn't in it, thank God, because all of these Superman movies need Kryptonite for some reason. But this movie shows that you don't have to use that. And this movie actually shows that you don't have to rely on a bunch of other stuff that made Superman really famous in this movie. Like, there's no John Williams theme. He doesn't say kneel before Zod or anything like that, which is really great. So I guess that pretty much ends Super Month. And I'm not going to lie, I'm actually kind of sad. I had a lot of fun looking at these Superman movies. You guys may have had fun. I don't know, it depends on if you're an asshole or not. You guys may have had fun watching these videos. I'm really sorry that they were long. I just had a lot of stuff to say about these movies. And I actually can say that I'm really, really sad. I got put all in my, Superman stuff, and I'm kind of sad. It's really nothing to look forward to anymore, and, it was great learning more about this character, Superman. It was great learning it from the Superman movies, and great learning about some of the actors that played Superman, and pretty much a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff that, went into these Superman movies. And I've now grown, because of Super Month, in a way, I've now grown more accustomed and kind of grown more appreciative of Superman. Because Superman will always be there for us. He was there from the beginning, and he's the reason why we have superheroes these days. He was there from the beginning. He'll still be here for us now. In a time of need or just to entertain us, Superman will always be here, no matter what. So, I'm 123 Movies Roll, and I had a lot of fun doing Super Month, and I'll see you next time with Bat Month Forever. See ya.